Welcome to the show, everyone. I am so excited about being in this room right now, and the reason why is we've got so much blue all over here, and it's beautiful. If you're on Facebook, you can actually go onto Facebook and go into Networking Arizona, and you'll see us in here live doing the show. It's really fun to do. So hi to everybody out there, like us and follow us. We'll share the show later on. My first guest is Teresa Kiernan, and she's with LUX Restoration. And today we are going to talk a little bit about Restoration 101 and what to do if something happens.
That's right.
Yeah, because a lot of people out there, you said that a lot of people actually, Carol, don't know what to do.
They do not. And especially with monsoon season ahead of us, a lot of folks do not know what to do, and it's, what do we do? Well, first, oh my gosh, what is that? Then what do we do? Who do we call?
Who do we call? And it's not Ghostbusters, And the thing about this is that when something happens, you're more upset about your stuff, and I could say this on TV. I'm here right now.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say this. Not everybody knows this, but I lost my house in the Northridge earthquake, okay? And talk about loss of stuff. Everything that was up was down, it was a mess. There was flood, there was everything, fire, there was everything around us. And a lot of people didn't know what to do.
Right, and you do not, because you're looking at your life. You're looking at, you're violated, not only by a natural disaster, but your life has been completely uprooted, and
right.
You do not know, who do I call first, what do I do? It's not to say you should have an automatic checklist in your head. Your always instinct is, oh my gosh, I have to call my insurance company. In some cases, no, do not call your insurance company first. If there's a company such as us at LUX, we are out there, we will give you a free assessment. When it comes to restoration, we are a full restoration company. So, like for instance, if there's water damage, a flood, we might be referred out by a plumber, and or somebody might call us directly, because you do know what we do. Pick up the phone, have us come out. We are going to give you, the care. We're going to walk you through it. We're there for you, for the customer, because it is something that just uproots your life. And to get a free assessment,
Mm-hmm.
just somebody that's going to come in and give you that honest evaluation, let you know what you need, what's going on, what needs to be done to have something done correctly.
Right, and that's a
the right
big
way,
story
and
right
huge.
there. The big word is correctly. But I also want to talk about you for a minute, because you've walked in their shoes just recently. You had a flood that was terrible, that was out of your roof, that went into your closet, that
Right.
went into a bathroom. It ended up being terrible. So you understand, and also you have been in the insurance business
Yep.
for
Correct.
many, many, many years. You worked for, was it Geico?
It was Geico.
Geico, yeah. And for a long time, you did that. And so you learned what they do. And this is why she's telling everybody, do not call your insurance company first. Really call them, and they will come out. They have been around for 18 years. They're located in Gilbert, but they work statewide. They're going to give you a free in-home estimate with people that you know are reputable. That is the bottom line.
Right.
Reputable company. You can call them direct at 602-881-1398, or you can also call them at 480-750-8220, and that is extension 220 as well. And you're going to get an experienced person that's going to answer the phone. Even Teresa does answer the phone as well. There are both residential and commercial. Their website is drylux.com. Go ahead. We're going to talk today about some things. Go ahead.
We are, yes, and I just want to say too, like on the insurance side, bringing that up, it's very when you come to an insurance, when you call, that information is not going to be taken away if you decide not to file a claim. The minute you do call the company, everything is documented, and in some cases, it's going to be more beneficial for you to pay out of pocket, because I did want to bring this up, opposed to, you might have a $5,000 deductible. You might have a water claim that might be $1,500, to where you're gonna be paying out of your pocket.
No matter what.
However, no matter what, right? And it's, you know, at the end of the day, insurance companies do not like water claims. That's it. That being 100% transparent. They do not want a water claim. If there is a claim, or if there is any type of damage, mold, water, fire, whatever the case may be, it needs to be done correctly by a professional. It has to be done professionally, so it is done correctly, you know, to where you do have all that paperwork, everything lines up. But if you can avoid filing a claim, it's, you know,
You're better off
down the road, because you're gonna avoid rates, you're gonna avoid possible, you know, of insurance companies not wanting to insure you, which, like I said, insurance companies do not like claims, especially when it comes to a water claim.
So let's talk about this, because you know, you had gotten a call from a listener at one point, and if you're still listening, call in again, because they would love to help you.
This number.
That phone, I'll give you the number. It's 480-750-8220. It's extension 220, and Teresa will take care of you. I want to talk about this because you said that she actually lived in a rental, and you would think, okay, well, everybody knows just to call the super or call the front desk or what have you. No, not everybody knows that.
Technically, no, not everybody does know that. Say if you're I mean, sometimes you're actually gonna call a company to find, what do I do? What do I need to do? You know, it depends on how everything is written up. So it can be a fine line, and it can be a very straightforward line on the ABCs of what you should do. The quotes are free.
It makes sense.
What you wanna do first, document everything. Take photos. Take photos of what exactly is there, what's going on, the flooring, and I can actually bring up, when I first moved here, I moved to a place off of Camelback. I will not say the place, but this is 100% of what happened. This was the craziest thing. They had a floor, and it was a hardwood floor in the condos, and there was rippling in the floor. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna think something's wrong. This is no kidding. That entire floor had to be ripped up because there was water damage that had come in from a water heater.
And you would think that when you move into a place, it would be pristine and ready for you. Not always.
Not always. It was painted, but this floor, I mean, it was so obvious too. And I didn't want them to think I did anything, but honest to gosh, I took photos, and sure enough, I mean, they ripped out the entire floor and put it in.
Correct.
It was crazy. So you never know. So it can happen to anybody. So document it, take photos, mark everything down.
What about odors? What do people do when you start smelling something?
Earthy odors too,
Yeah.
musty odors. There again, that can be a sign to where you know, anybody can paint a wall. I mean, this is horrible. Anybody can. You can try to fix something, paint it, but there's obvious signs that will not go away unless it's done correctly. That's where you really need to kind of go back, look. If you have to Google, I smell this in my house, you know, sometimes folks will do that to get that other clarification, but you're gonna see signs that might not be there right then, but anything can trigger it, such as rain, new water coming in, storm leakage.
Also, anything that you do when you notify your landlord or your property management company, please put everything in writing, document. The phone number to call is 602-881-1398, or you can also call 480-750-8220, extension 220. They're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Put the number in your phone under reputable restoration company. We're still live in the room.
Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot about that when I had moved over there.
Oh, yeah?
Honest to
So
God.
now you have to document that story so you can repeat it.
That was
one
in
time.
2015.
Wow. So what happened when they did that, they found that there was water damage?
I looked at them like, something's not right, you know, to where, you know, okay, fine. And then they came in and looked at it, and then the maintenance guy, he goes, no, something's not right. And they popped some of the, you know, the hardwood up, and sure enough,
Wow.
and they did, they had to pull out the entire floor. And
And
I
that's
was like, and I just remember everything, like them having to move my things, cause I had moved in.
Oh, you had already moved in.
I had moved in, and they had to shift, but it was the most, my life was just upward, because now I have these people coming in, I have to coordinate my schedule around theirs, it was just.
Yeah, it's always a mess when this kind of thing
Come on, I
happens.
just moved in, and they didn't have anything available to give to me in the meantime,
Oh,
which made it, but they.
how long was it, like messed up?
It took about a week and a half, because they had to, redo the flooring, then they put the coating, and then they had to completely dry, and I remember that, need to bring in the fans and everything, but I completely thought,
That's a good thing
up
for
until
to
you read
talk
that,
about.
yeah, that.
So, the other thing that I wanna know is, once they do, let's say they call their property management company, okay? Let's say they come in and they fix it and they're not happy with it, whatever, they're stuck with that
They're
usually? Or they have to redo it with them?
They would have to, yeah, you really need to be, detailed.
Now, what do you mean about check your local tenants' rights? That sounds interesting.
That
Tell us about that.
yeah, you can check your tenants' rights, I mean, anybody can look it up, but tenants do have rights, as far as.
Well, let's talk about tenants' rights, I like that. I like to talk about controversial things, okay?
I mean, every tenant does have rights, so it's gonna be in a basic, one, always check your lease to see what's in the lease, but tenants do have rights as well.
Mhm.
You know, and did I go in 100% detail on it? No,
No.
but I know there are tenants' rights.
Right, well, I'm sure there has to be,
With
but a lot of
mine,
people
I
don't
knew
think
it
they
had-
have any rights, you know?
But you do as a tenant,
Mhm.
you do, even with any state, you're gonna have rights, and they're gonna be in your lease. But Arizona, the states, right, I know I'm right on this, you do have certain rights, yeah, you do. You do have rights.
Well, I'm sure.
As tenants, yeah, you just have to know what they are, read them, and stick by it, you know, I mean.
When you say stick by it, do you mean like, say, look, I know what my
Yes.
rights are?
Yes.
Okay.
Never feel, I don't wanna say bullied, but as a consumer, you do have rights. You need to
So
follow
you
through
learn
on those.
something every day on this show, and we're on, we've been talking to Facebook land right now, and at the break, we were talking about tenants' rights. And folks who are tenants, you have rights. If something is happening and you feel like you're not getting, you're getting the runaround with somebody or whatever is happening, there are places that you can go to see what your rights are. You do have a lease, obviously, that's gonna be spelled out,
Right.
but there's things that go beyond that.
You can even Google, department, state of Arizona, tenants' rights, rental, and you'll actually have a lot of bylines and laws that will pop up, but definitely look into that, because, you are paying for something. Think about it, you have a security deposit, okay? When somebody moves out, somebody can, whomever you're leasing and or renting from could come back and say, well, this was damaged, that was damaged, or I have to fix this.
Oh, they always
this,
try and
this.
find something.
Right, that's why, you have every fee tied in when it comes to a security deposit, so on and so forth. But, it's gonna be prepped for the next person, so if there was any type of mold, water dam, whatever whatever type of situation might have been there, the next person moving in should be able to go in with a sense of, everything has been done correctly, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing hazardous.
I have a
You're
question.
going into a place that is ready, move-in ready without any issues.
So let's say you're living in a home that you're renting, okay, and something happens, and it was your fault. And I'm not sure whether this matters whether or not it's your fault or not when something happens. It still has to be fixed, right? And if it's your fault and you're renting, do you still call them or no? Do you,
Honestly,
or do you
what
call
I've
your
seen
own
in the
restoration
what I've
company?
seen on the insurance side of it, there's some folks that will actually call and do it, take care of it themselves.
They don't want them to know what they did.
However, you're going into a rental agreement and or a lease agreement, you need to be transparent about what happened.
Right.
The homeowner can come back
They
and
have a
say,
right.
because it's a risk now, it needs to be fixed correctly in the right way.
One of the things that you said before you came on is your kids happen to be able to clean up and fix holes that have been in walls before you ever even knew it.
My kids were so crafty, that I had no idea. And not to compare this with a homeowner, and or, you know.
I'm sure it happens all the time though.
Complex, and nothing against any, I'm sure it does, but I had no idea. I mean, they put holes in the walls and they were, they had these holes patched up. I never knew. Up until the time I was moving to Arizona, they finally told me, "Oh, Mom, did you see that hole in the wall?" No. They had fixed it so well, I never knew ever that there was a hole in the wall.
That's pretty funny.
Can this be done by anybody? Absolutely. It's why it's always good to have a reputable company that comes in and that takes care of something. So to the consumer out there that has an issue pop up, being 100% transparent, definitely, I would bring it up to the landlord, the owner, and say, hey, this happened.
And if you own a home, you definitely need to have this phone number in your
Yes.
phone so that you have it under reputable restoration company, because you never know when something's gonna happen, and when it does, it will turn your world upside down.
Right.
The phone number to call is 602-881-1398. They do free in-home estimates. They're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They've been here in the Valley for 18 years, and what they want is when you have a problem, they want you to think of LUX,
Right.
because that's what they're looking to do right now. They're getting the word out about their company real big, because they want you to think of LUX anytime something happens. Again, they're located in Gilbert, but they do work statewide. They do both residential and commercial. You can check them out on their website. It's LUX.com, and the phone number again is 602-881-1398, or you can call them, Teresa directly at 480-750-8220, extension 220.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And you can always shoot me a text too.
So
for some reason.
let's talk about people who are homeowners for a little
Okay.
bit, because the same goes for them. Obviously, the first thing is, do not necessarily call your insurance company right away, because you want to make sure that you have an estimate and somebody who's experienced, somebody who knows what they're doing, that's going to come in and give you an honest answer of what's going on, and give you that estimate first before you call them. Because if it's going to be under your the
deductible.
the deductible, couldn't get it out of my mouth, deductible, then you're basically gonna pay for it anyway. And if you start a claim, sometimes that could cause you more trouble than it's worth.
That's 100% correct. And if the quotes are free, just get the quote first. And then go ahead and take it from there, depending on what that is. Because the minute you do contact your insurance company, that is gonna be documented. And like I said, I know they do not like the claims. Of course, nobody wants to have any type of a water damage, claim ever filed. They do want it done correctly, so there's no issues moving forward, because it does need to be correctly repaired and are taken care of. But if you can avoid filing that claim, then get that quote first. Like I said, the quotes are free, does not cost anything.
It makes sense.
We will come out and give the assessment and then take it from there. We do also work directly with the insurance companies as well. So, we will help walk through it from A to Z. And we are, like I said, we are a full service restoration company, so we do everything from start to finish. We also, we do pack in and pack out as well too, which is always very helpful.
If you have to move out?
If you have to clear out a room, in some cases, some may have to where you need that assistance, and
So you really
it does help.
offer
We
it
do.
all. You really help them,
Right.
and then what they know is that they, especially Teresa, just recently had a situation that happened. They're walking in your shoes. They care about you. That's what they want you to know, that you're getting not only quality work, but you're also getting their experience, and they're caring people who do care about you. Because we know anytime like this something happens, that the first thing is oh my God, my stuff, my life, everything is ruined, all my things, and I know how it feels. I've been there too. So the best thing is to have the information. And by the way, we are living in Arizona where fires very easily, but monsoon season is around
Right
the corner. So if you're gonna get floods, if you're gonna have a problem with your roof and it flies off or something like that, and it happens here,
Right.
you know, and the thing is that a lot of times you don't wait, check it out right away,
Right.
because after a monsoon, that's when you start seeing things like maybe it could be even a month later, because the
Right.
water started to come in and
It's-
seep.
And water travels,
Mhm.
so water will find a way,
Mhm.
you know, so now's the time you're really gonna see something if there is something going on.
So I do think that people should have the phone number on their refrigerator, on the side if you don't want it in the front, but at least what to do, the steps, what to do. If God forbid something happens, then the first thing is to call Drylux. Their number is 602-881-1398. What were you gonna say?
The first thing, in a flood though, the first thing, make sure all
You
your
got a boat.
electrical sources though are powered off.
Right.
Because you wanna avoid any type of electrocution. The other thing is too, in the event that you do have anything happen, which a lot of folks forget, take photos of everything first. Take photos.
Yes.
Get
How
your
do they
phone
forget
out.
now?
Take
You know, when I
photos
remember,
of everything documented.
I remember when we lost the house in the Northridge earthquake, you know, having a video, which those
Yeah.
cameras were
Yes.
like huge at that time,
Yeah.
it was so cool. We were like so happy to have
Yes.
it, right?
Yes.
And so of course we took videos of everything. Now it's so convenient. How do you not, you know, you're just standing there,
You don't
take
think,
videos.
yeah.
But people don't, right? You know
Yeah.
why?
You're
Because your
panicked.
head is not
Right.
in, you're just not, you're not thinking.
Right.
You're just not
You
thinking.
think, yeah, I mean, your immediate thought, what am I gonna do? And then, I mean, the cost of, I mean, the flash of money, how much is this gonna cost? It all goes through your head so quickly,
Mhm.
because you don't know, you forget.
Well, you know what, that's why you have Drylux here. They've been in the valley for 18 years. They're located in Gilbert, but they work statewide. They're gonna do a free in-home estimate for you. Even if you are renting, they come here, they're gonna help you, walk you through it step by step. They're gonna give you a free in-home estimate. They're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They do both residential and commercial. You can call them at 602-881-1398. You can also call them at 480-750-8220, extension 220. Miss Teresa will answer the phone there. Check them out on their website. It's drylux.com, and put the number in your phone under reputable restoration company. Again, that number to call is 602-881-1398. You're gonna love the color blue.